What is going on, everyone? It's T-Wiz, and I'm back with another episode of 1 Hour Reviews, the series where I find a game on Steam with little to no players and spend an hour playing it before I give it a review. Why do I play for just an hour? Well, if it sucks, I want to get my money back. Today's game is Per- Periareion, released in 2015 by Explorasaurus Studios. It's marketed as an indie space simulation strategy game. What it's not marketed as is early access, which is certainly an oversight. This game is awful, and it explains why since 2017 the game has been unable to get more than 3 people playing it at a time. When I first loaded this game, I had high hopes that maybe it was going to be okay. There was a neat little rotating Mars in the background, a nice looking logo, and a really simple main menu. I clicked to start a new game since obviously I didn't have one saved to load, and then I picked my starting location. There's really no way to tell what the pros or cons are to each of these places, so I just picked one at random. Next, when I got to pick my crew, there were like 20 different crew members that you can pick, and each has their own stats. None of these stats in the game really seem to matter that much, at least the bit of time I played. But I did sort of like scrolling through the character list and looking at the models. The art here isn't good, and oftentimes it made me laugh. So I had a good time with that. I couldn't decide which of these characters I needed because I was not going to be bothered to compare all of them. So I just picked random for all of them. They're seriously way too many options. The game had 3 modes. I'm assuming your difficulties. There's casual, normal, and hard. I went with normal because I felt it would be the most default and the best way to explore this game. And here's where the game officially starts to show its true self. The UI is garbage. I decided to follow the tutorial, but some of the tutorial windows are scaled so poorly, I could barely read what it was trying to say. The game's HUD shows a basic count of all the resources you have, as well as gives you buttons to enter build mode or access the research tree. And you can see little updates below the counters, showing when my spacemen and women harvest materials, but the UI again scales so poorly that oftentimes the text overlaps with one another and I can't tell what is going on. Speaking of the space people harvesting, let's talk about the controls. Absolutely awful. To select a character, you either have to click on them or cycle through all your space people until you eventually get to the one you intended. As you can see on the screen, the characters can be pretty small and tough to click. Add to that there is no free camera in this game, so if your selected space person is out of line of sight from the ones that you want to click on, you can't even see them to click on them. It is so frustrating. To interact with buildings, you right-click on them, you get a little menu, and that seemed to work fine. But overall, the UI was terrible. The controls were so bad. But what about the graphics, right? These got to be good. It's really hard for me to remember what graphics in 2015 looked like. That said, environments were better in most games I played in the early 2000s, so by today's standards, the graphics were bad, and I'm pretty sure that in 2015 they were bad by those standards too. One user in the reviews for this game commented on the improvement of the updated graphics. Are you serious, bro? Really? The gameplay. Even the gameplay was awful. It's an endless cycle of send your space people out to get different resources, then build buildings with the materials. Sometimes people would get sick or a building would break, so you need more resources to fix those things or heal the people. Other times you need to harvest food, and for some reason you need more metals to do that, so let's back out to the resource hunt again. Everything in this game costs so many resources that all you're doing is sending space people out to mine. But eventually they start to run out of air, so they have to come back to the Mars lander to refill their air. And then you send them back out over and over. This is the gameplay loop. Eventually you use up all the resources near the base and have to venture further and further and further and further to find more resources, to getting to the point where by the time you've walked out to the resource, you have just enough air to walk back and refill. This is an incredibly stupid concept, and there needs to be some sort of automation or a way to construct farms of like automated miners. I don't know. Something needs to happen to where I'm not just clicking back and forth to send these space people out. Yeah, it was rough. Sometimes there were these random events that would pop up just every so often. Sometimes it was a dust storm. Other times it was like a radiation event. Either way, I just had to send everybody back to base and wait it out, which was fine because they probably needed to come back for air anyways. One time, though, one of my people got some sort of CO2 poisoning or something, despite having air. And when he died, the game said everybody died, and I got a game over. I was bummed that I lost so fast, but at least in that I had a few minutes where I didn't actually have to play the game. I wanted to be really excited about the base building too, until I realized that with this, you don't even get to build the base. You select a building and the game just plops it down for you. It's typically it seemed like we would want to drop the building somewhere that was going to interfere with the AI's incredible pathfinding, and then my space people would just get lost or stuck. The gameplay was also bad. So overall, the game had a bad UI, bad graphics, bad controls, and bad gameplay. There was nothing redeeming here at all. I wanted to quit after the first 12 minutes when I got my game over, but I stuck with it for a full hour to see if it was actually going to get better. It didn't. In the end, but refund this game? No. But that's just because it's free to play. Thank God. I'm just gonna uninstall it instead. Thanks for watching the video, everybody. If you enjoyed it, please feel free to like and subscribe because it definitely helps the channel. And if you do end up playing this game, I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments, but please don't play this. Until next time, see you later, and thanks for watching.